in the movie that a lot of theater kids were dreaming about for 20 some years. Just crossing their fingers and toes and be like, please be good. Please don't be bad.
I guess we will learn soon if it was or not when we get there. But first things first. Hello and welcome everybody to the AWKWARDCast, where Ayn Wye and Keyframe wonder about random drivel and I peek my mic.
Good job.
Yeah.
I'm glad we had this whole pre-show for you to test your mic, and it only peaked now.
Oh no, it peaked during the pre-show too. But only when I go really, like, normally when I talk like this, I'm perfectly in this yellow area, like close to the end, but not yet in the red. But the thing is, where OBS is like very irritating actually, is like when you peak the mic, so you have this bar for anybody who has never seen an OBS. It's like three quarters green. Then it has like a small yellow area and an even smaller red area, which
and
is
yellow
like
area is where you're supposed to be, because even though green should be the good color, anytime you're just in green, everyone says you're too fucking quiet.
Exactly. Which, I mean, green goes only until minus 20 decibel. Which is like, dude, 20 decibel is a giant range. The poor people who have the... Nah? Yeah, exactly. The yellow area is where you want to be at. But when you peak the mic, the entire bar just goes red and stays like this for a second. Like, oh my god, I've destroyed everything.
I pitched that they need to add a fourth color to the audio bar. Don't look at me like that. I have good ideas.
Please go on.
No, it's just, first of all, the green is like, one, it's like 2/3 of the bar. And even though green is like the universal color to mean good, perfect, all that, it's not for OBS. No. So I think they should add like either a blue or an purple, which means that you're too quiet. And so then green is the good area. Yellow is you better start to quiet down. And then we have the red, which is you fucked up.
That actually sounds like okay. I'm with you. I'm with you with this particular Shark Tank. I will not hold against you. But yeah, to wrap up one important topic of the pre-show, we should definitely do a Chris tier list. We gather all the relevant Chris's, including this 2,000-year-old carpenter. He was also a Chris. Put all of those Chris's in a big lineup. I see no problem with that. Now I want to do it. Until now it was just a stupid idea, but now I actually want to do it.
I kind of like, oh what? Can someone please make the Chris tier list, and then maybe during my subathon this week I can just call Max and be like, do you want to do the Chris tier list?
Right.
Instead of TV time, we just do a Chris tier list.
But yeah, all the relevant Chris's to world history past and present. Which in present just means celebrities.
Like does this include Chris adjacent people like Christina's, Christine?
You want to put yourself in there?
No, I was thinking more Christina Ricci or the evil car. But you know, like there's a lot of Chris's in the world. There's also Christians, which can become Chris.
But only if they are they need to be significantly known as a Chris, and no, I dare to say, simply for the purpose of keeping it contained.
These Christ childs can't be on the list.
We already have Jesus on there, so that's fine. He's the OG. He's the OG Chris. So even so, he's usually not referred to as yo Chris, bro. He is allowed on there.
Yeah.
Then, of course, Chris Evans, Chris Pines, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pratt, Chris... Are there more Chris's?
Hansen, Chris Walken.
Chris Walken. Oh, Chris Chan, technically, yeah.
You'll have to make a whole new tier at the bottom for that one. But there you go. There's a tier list idea for y'all to make. Oh yeah,
see, I talked myself back.
Also go in that.
But yeah, I actually already talked myself back out of it. Here's the thing: it started as a joke. Then I realized that then the idea of actually doing it turned funny to me. But then the more we went into detail, I was like, oh no, now it turns difficult again. Like, nah. The moment you start including real life people, and we all know that Hollywood celebrities do not count as real life people, but when you then include real life people, then it becomes like, okay.
When did it become real life people? We were listing celebrities.
I guess.
The only real life person I was thinking of is me. And I wouldn't even want to be on the list. I don't want to be perceived.
I believe I also saw aficionados in the chat, so as a recommendation,
they
not
don't
as
count.
a person.
They're not real. They're not real.
But yeah.
Cartoon reviewers aren't real people. They're
Obviously.
cartoons.
Yeah. Or puppets in some cases.
Or puppets, but yes, this is why. Point being, I have good ideas.
Definitely.
And Max has the beginning of good ideas. No, we agreed that the fourth color to the OBS audio thing was a good idea.
Okay. We are back on track.
I didn't say any other ideas yet.
Yeah. So there's only this one record, right?
There's only, the movie.
I'm curious, because I have seen the trailers for this one like ages ago, and they didn't appear as musicals, but...
What, just The Wizard of Oz?
No, not ages ago. With the lady of color being a very colorful lady by being green. That trailer I've seen a while ago, but it wasn't a musical, and now The Wicked is a musical. So I was actually wondering for a period of time if there were two recent interpretations that came out very close to each other. But no, they are the same movie, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, see.
The Wicked's. I mean, Wicked's always been it was a book first, and then it became a musical. But saying that, Wicked is also a book is like saying, there's some people named Max, but that doesn't mean all of them are, because God, the Wicked musical is nothing like the book. It is basically the idea and nothing more. Piece of advice, folks, if you like the musical, don't think the book is basically the same. I get very worried when I'm seeing parents buy their kids the Wicked book, because the Wicked book is not for kids. The Wicked book goes into detail about what Elphaba's Wicked Witch of the South looks like. And it's purple, if you wanted to know. Don't buy your kids it.
Or do, because a little bit of education would not be the worst for some of them kids,
Maybe,
if it's already not happening in school anymore.
Okay, no need to make it real. We're talking about witches and wizards.
Yeah. But how has this not been real? We have been hunting them here in Europe for centuries.
You're right. The education system has failed us for a long, long time. But yes, I mean, before we talk about Wicked, have you consumed any media?
I
know you had the show that you were one episode away from finishing.
No, not me finishing. The show, here's the thing. So I guess potential spoilers for future Awkward. So there is a very short French-produced online show, which has 10 episodes, and they dub it into English. And before this weekend, I thought, the 9th episode is out. Genius! I can watch it. Not forgetting that it's a 10 episode, or not realizing that it's a 10 episode show, because so many shows are 9 episodes these days. And so I was like, and I watched it I believe yesterday. I watched it. Was like, let's quickly watch it, so I am ready to have it as a media for Awkward tomorrow. And then it's like, that doesn't feel like an ending. I have to say that it feels like
that's
there's
the funny part.
Yeah,
it's not.
And then I was like, okay, going back to the original French version of it, and I'm like, shit, there are 10 episodes in the playlist. Guess I need to wait for one more dubbed episode to drop. But no, I actually came up with a few media. Okay. I have been stateside. recently, the other week, stuff like that. And two things. I mean, first of all, this glorious piece of media, which is free to watch, assuming you are located in America. So until I get myself
USA.
One of the few points where this chant still finds international acknowledgement.
Thank you, Columbo.
Exactly. I mean, if only he would be able to strike out to real life USA. Because Columbo, which I watched as a child. So first of all, look at this star lineup. This is so ridiculous. The people that had appearances on, because this is Vincent Price, right?
Yes, that is Vincent.
I'm not an expert, but this face I recognize. But yeah, so let's see if Mr. Spock also makes an appearance in this particular trailer. But no, for those unaware, so yeah, it's a. When did they start? They started in the 80s, I believe. This show is older than me. No, in the 70s, I believe, even.
Starting.
Oh, there's a chat now.
It started in 1971.
Yeah, in the 70s, so significantly older than me. But yeah, I grew up with it was actually a thing, like when it was I believe it. There he is. Hey, Mr. Nimoy.
Hello, Leonard.
Exactly. And
William Shatner's also,
yeah,
but not in the same episode, ironically.
But yeah, he already appeared earlier. So this seems to be a trailer that is very much all about the biggest names they had throughout their run, or at least trying to. Oh yeah, Leslie Nielsen. Look at that. Point being, I'm getting distracted by this trailer. I mean, it's a relatively long trailer. I need to cut this short. Let's look at his face instead. So I grew up with it as a child. There was actually, we watched it as a family. There was like weekly came an episode, which was actually running on primetime. Which, in hindsight, given that a single episode is movie length. Like, we are talking 1.5 hours, which I forgot. So when we sat down, it was like, wow, those episodes are long. Whew, I hope we have nothing else to do. But it was long ago. This was Baby Max watching it. I was familiar with it. And then I noticed this trend in the recent years when the idea of an unsung hero of a former generation, a man who came in after rich white 1% people committed crimes and came in and was like, oh, one more thing, and he got them every single time. And those rich douchebags, they all got what they had coming. And Columbo, the little
the
bumbling
millennial power fantasy.
I know, it is. And so
it really is.
So seeing this spiritual comeback of Columbo, I was like, I want to watch it again. And I checked, and it's actually on what is called Tubi or something. Which
it's on Tubi for free.
Yeah, if you're on American soil, you can just go to Tubi and watch it right here, right now. So I used the chant when I was over there, and I watched it right there, right then. And at least a few episodes. Again, they are long, so it's a weird thing to come over to the US and be like, nice to be here. I will now be in my hotel for the next few days. Don't bother me. I have a show to watch.
I have 69 episodes of Columbo to watch.
Exactly.
God, what's 69 times an hour and a half?
Uh-huh.
What's 69 hours and a half? Someone do the math. Chop.
No. 69 for an hour and a half. That's a dry mouth.
Oh. Well, if you're doing a bad job, I guess. Anyways.
This is escalating quickly. Anyways.
There's not even an FMK during the Just Us episodes. We have to make up for it.
Also a thing I was not realizing. Columbo kept airing until the early 2000s. They just kept not producing very regularly. They kept dropping every now and then another episode. It just kept coming. And also the great realization when watching Columbo, and then Princess Bride was on TV, and we were like, wait a second, this grandfather sounds familiar.
Yep.
The granddad in Princess Bride is motherfucking Columbo right there.
Yep, good old Peter Falk.
Anyways, point being, after all those years and all the hype and the millennial wish-fulfilling fantasy, does it hold up? And besides being very, very 70s and...
in 80s and 90s.
Exactly.
And
exactly. Yes, it does. Columbo is a fascinating character. Also, I need a VPN, I know. No, he's a fascinating character. So, ignoring the very first pilot thingy was actually an adaptation of the book where the character is based from, where Peter had not yet found the Columbo persona perfectly. So, first of all, he's allowed to take off the raincoat, like, what's going on there? This coat is part of his skin.
There's no body under it.
Exactly. So first of all, he took off this coat. The suit he's wearing under it looked halfway decent, like as in like put together, like halfway. No.
Wait. Hold on. I have a better image for you to show.
Okay.
For Columbo.
Excellent. Yeah. Give it to me, baby. Oh, that is a very good picture. Yes. Sorry, DVD or VHS cover, you have to be replaced by Columbo and his dog.
Which is, I love his relationship with this fucking dog.
I remember whenever in an episode the dog appeared, my family and I were like cheering, the dog is there, yeah!
It's dog!
It's dog, exactly. Yes, and Columbo, fascinating character. I mean, obviously it's a product of its time, so no smartphones, first of all, no internet, but also things like the role of women in the show is a little bit more 70s than it would be today for obvious reasons. It's a show of the 70s. Fascinating that. But no, he still has this thing of like, being the bubbling persona, like this bubbling fool who's like, but at the same time it gets pointed out that his commissioner highly recommends him and puts him on the high profile cases. And none of those rich fucks ever wonders why this is the case until they are arrested, because they so brutally underestimate him. But there's also one episode that really, and this is an early on. This is like
one more episode.
One more episode. It's like the second or third episodes, like of the proper ones that are officially part of the show, not the two pilots that are a little bit like. Fascinating. So Columbo comes in. He has his usual disheveled look. This is just like how he appears. Part of it, but he is acting with a high-profile person, and this person is not the villain. So that's the thing in Columbo. You always know who the guy. You always witness the crime first. For those who are wondering, it's not
the journey is watching Columbo figure
exactly.
It out.
It's not a murder mystery. It's this fucker. I know he did something wrong, and I want to see him get caught. You know, it's a millennial fantasy.
Yeah, the millennial fantasy.
We're coming back to that. We know that this fucker did something wrong. This rich fucker, and we just want to see him burn. Guillotines are heavy. Don't make us actually put them together. But yeah. Fascinating. So Columbo talking to a high-profile person who we as a viewer obviously know is not the guy. And Columbo himself also seems to be immediately aware that he is not the guy from the interactions and whatnot. And Columbo is professional as fuck. And it's like, okay. And the moment the guilty guy involves himself in the case, because of course those arrogant fucks get themselves involved, the moment the actual killer involves himself in the case, and he says like 2 or 3 sentences, there's one close-up on Columbo, like being like, huh? And after that he's like, come here. Oh, I believe in astrology. Let me read your headlines. Oh yeah. The moment in front of a high profile person, and you are like, oh shit. You can nail the moment where Columbo is like, I know who did it, and switches on his bubbling fool persona. It's beautiful.
You know what Columbo is? Columbo's Zenigata, if Zenigata gave up on trying to get Lupin and actually just went it did his actual job. Like that kind of bumbling, but very skilled. I love Columbo.
Yeah.
Do you think he'd be counted as a Tumblr sexy man in this day and age? Is he stinky enough?
I mean, he has a stinky and disheveled appearance, so I dare to say he has a hypothetical chance. I am not sure how Tumblr reacts to sexy men that are literally dead by now. Sexy men that were
that doesn't
popular.
Stop anyone.
I don't know. I'm not deep enough in the Columbus in the Tumblr sexy
how
men.
How gross are you?
Exactly.
Who has Columbo on their hear me out cake? Like, come on.
If he would be like in his prime, like time traveling in his prime, or we travel back or whatever, I'm pretty sure he could pull off the Tumblr sexy man.
Probably. I mean, like, he's a bumbling smart guy with a sharp trench coat and a dog. I don't think anyone would say no.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know my favorite bit of Columbo trivia?
Oh, please go.
Well, you know how everyone makes a joke that Columbo would be like the one person that could actually stop light in Death Note because.
Oh, I saw a video about it and it's beautiful.
My favorite thing is...
I guess I now have to find it and link it, damn it. Also, I haven't taken any notes yet.
My favorite thing is a lot of people like to cite this not true trivia that is, Columbo's actual name is Philip. It's not. It's because the author included a fake entry in the book, the Trivia Encyclopedia, saying that his name is Philip to catch copyright infringement. Which is amazing.
So the author's a real life Columbo.
Yeah, and the incorrect trivia was used in the game Trivial Pursuit.
Oops.
Which means that there was copyright infringement. So the author tried to sue Trivial Pursuit.
Rightfully so.
I think putting a fake thing in there to just try to catch people is the most Columbo thing you can do.
Because, okay, I would... It's not really spoiler since it's part of the formula, so it happens like every other episode. Columbo often enough actually builds setups and builds traps for the villain. So yeah, that is that is so 100% Columbo. I believe that the person who came up with Columbo does exactly that.
Sorry, I'm just trying to plug in my headphones a bit more because you keep like going in one ear and out the other. And I'm like, I don't know if that's my headphones or your input.
That is a good question. But yeah, that was one media. I hypothetically have more where that came from. One that you might be able to talk about, so it could be a shared one.
Okay, what would that be?
Have you happened to watch this beautiful mess end?
Yes, I have.
Yes, I mean we will. I dare to say we will keep it spoiler free as much as we can, but and as much as this trailer allows, I guess. But yeah, Arcane Season 2 came out and ended in, I believe it was 3 weeks, right? They dropped all 9 episodes in like 3 at a time through the span of 3 weeks.
Yep.
So technically 2 weeks plus 1 day. And it's also something to be... Okay, let's start at the beginning. If you haven't watched Arcane yet, even if you haven't even watched Arcane Season 1 yet, get out of here, you uncultured swine. Unless, maybe, can we make excuses for certain people if you really can't stand... Bless you.
I thought it... Okay, now I'm not gonna sneeze because you did that. Great.
Yeah. But yeah, if you really can't stand... what is it? Tragedy, right? Tragedy is
what? Arcane is no one's comfort show. Arcane is people's discomfort show.
Exactly. I mean, I believe I even posted this on Twitter when the question was like, what's your favorite show? And I was like, comfort, Bluey. Discomfort, Arcane. Because, Arcane is my favorite discomfort show.
There's a weird correlation that I have with a lot of my friends that their favorite thing right now is Arcane. And how depressed they are in general.
Funny is it?
The correlation is like, funny. Might I give you Bluey? Maybe you need to cheer up.
Also, for fuck's sake, I can't... This trailer was violent on the spoilers. I haven't seen it. I
was.
haven't seen the show. I can identify it. So I hope you know all didn't look too closely. Look at this picture. The spoilers in that picture are very minor.
Yeah. Hey, Arcane. Here's something. I don't know if it's not spoilery because there's a fucking U2s of this out now. Fuck you for ruining every Jinx cosplayer's life with this new season. Fuck you. Do you know how expensive the Jinx wig is because of her fucking pigtails? Fuck you. This gives me the same feeling as when Owl House cut Ida's hair. And then in the time skip, she grew it back and everyone was like, but I cut my wig. So yeah, there you go. There's my one criticism of Arcane.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that it should be longer, but I understand how expensive this show is.
Oh yeah, I mean it's season 2 still absolutely gorgeous. I have the feeling they more often than in the first season actually went for a little bit of cutting costs by having like more stylized parts where it's more like clip show-esque. But even those parts look great, and so even in a moment like this, they turn it. They take the limitations and actually still turn it into great, stunning visuals. So they got their shit still together. I don't want to know how many roadblocks they had to overcome, but yeah, it was beautiful as before. I maybe because I had seen the first season, I had the feeling that the second one didn't slap as hard, but that might be because I already went through the first season, and I guess you can only be murdered by a TV show once. But still, there were still so many oh fuck moments. I just don't recall that there were as breathtakingly oh fuck as in the first season.
I mean, the thing is I also just feel like, not to be the downer on people's celebration of this show is probably some of the best stuff to come out of Netflix in a while. And it's just, and you know, it actually gets you to like League of Legends things, which is already an achievement.
I know, right?
Season two felt like it was made with the intention that there was going to be a season 3.
Or at the very least, spin-offs.
Because it just, I'm trying to keep this as not spoilery. There's just so many things going on, but it feels more surface level, like it's explored more surface level than season 1. And you know, that kind of feels disappointing when one of my favorite things of season 1 was how they explored things and explored characters and how they think, because this is a show with a cast of every flavor of damaged people. So when you have that, and you know, I would argue the characters and their interpersonal problems is more interesting than the world itself. It's kind of disappointing when we don't get to explore those kind of things further, at least to the level that season 1 was, where it's like, okay, so the thing that I came for, I'm not getting as much of, which is kind of like,
yeah.
This feels like you probably were going to do more in season 3, and this was the setup, and then you realized you weren't getting a season 3, so it's like, oh, we gotta pay some of this off.
I guess. Because, some things came and went very fast, where I'm still, after watching and finishing it, was like, was this really necessary? Did this make sense? Like, they went a little bit wild there.
There's also just some characters who straight up don't appear, which is interesting.
Do you want to write me, or do you want to type me the name? Like, who have you been missing in season 2? I don't recognize any of those names. I'm not sure if this is a big of a loss. Who are those?
I mean, you know.
I mean, maybe I would recognize their faces immediately, but never
recognize
their
faces
names
and stuff. But you know, there is still a lot of good about season 2. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but
my criticism is that I want more. You know,
that's a good criticism to have, indeed. But going by your reaction, I would say that my feeling, I have only watched it once so far, that my feeling that season 2 did not reach the height of season 1 is appropriate. It's still above so many other shows out there, especially in the visual department. Like, funny enough, not too long ago, I watched a YouTube video about cinematography, like shot and compositions and whatnot. And Arcane does them all. Arcane puts so much into shot composition, and I'm not sure if it makes it easier or harder that it is animated, because on the one hand, because it's animated, it means they have absolute total control over everything. But on the other hand,
it also means you got to make it's so purposeful. So
yeah, exactly, you need to be a lot more conscious about it. Like, if you have a understanding of filmography and you know how to place a camera and have one character on the one side and one character on the other side, and switch back and forth, you need to just have an intuitive understanding when you put up an actual camera. But in animation, you need to absolutely consciously be like, okay, if I create this scene or this dialogue like this, that is how they have people working on this show that know their shit, and which puts every MCU movie into the shame corner with a little dunt head on their top. Yeah, because
I mean, unless you're Deadpool and Wolverine, I guess.
I don't count it as an MCU movie. Sorry, it's
Deadpool himself wants to be counted. You won't give him his dream.
I'm not sure. I mean, there were also the lines about, oh, they have you and they will make you do this until the rest of your life. Like,
he's gonna do this till he's 90.
Yeah. So, but yeah, point being, still fantastic show. I dare to say the writing in season 2 was not as crisp and well constructed and put together as in the first season. I also have to say, for a tragedy, given that I have watched Cyberpunk Edge Runners, and I'm like, okay, so this ending, that is the ending that qualifies as a tragedy. Compared to that, the ending of Arcane was like, hey, that's sunshine and rainbows, baby!
I mean, I guess it's kind of the thing of Arcane is a prequel to how the characters are in League of Legends.
Is it?
According to Riot.
Bullshit.
Don't shoot.
Bullshit.
Don't shoot the fucking message. Don't shoot the messenger.
I'm shooting the messenger. I'm massacring the messenger. I will not take this.
Why? What did I do?
Throughout all of season 1, I was always like, how do they ever pull this off? How is this supposed to ever turn into this lighthearted, tongue-in-cheek world of League of Legends? And after season 2, I can say they fucking can't. There's an alternate universe. There is no way in hell that those are the same characters. End of story.
They are, though.
No.
They are.
Death of the author. Those are not the same characters unless you take them.
I don't believe it, because the Jinx in Arcane is a completely different character to the Diet Harley Quinn.
Unless you do the Joker thing, so that the Jinx from the show actually at some point between the show and the movie gets replaced, and this new Jinx in the League of Legends is just somebody who picked up the mantle and the outfit and everything. If this is the explanation, then fine.
I'm sorry, this is just what they said.
I don't fucking care. They are wrong. They might want it to be, but dreaming and wishing doesn't make it happen.
Jesus, okay.
Those are not the same canon.
Bluey. Jesus Christ.
I guess so.
Oh. Your discomfort show is making you uncomfortable.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
God.
I have a third one, but it would mostly be an update on one that I had in the past, which technically Arcane was.
I do like Charlie's. Rutanera is a multiverse. Riot can go eat rocks.
I mean...
I like the term "go eat rocks." What?
I guess that's the in-your-face version of touch grass.
I also like Attaco. Max sounds like a Disney villain. Dreams don't do it. I mean, look, I have the feeling that if someone went up to him and asked him if he would like to voice a Disney villain, I don't think you would say no.
I mean, I would voice a villain towards Disney anytime. I already am. Just today I had a long debate about how I am so anti-Disney these days. Hey, Disney, buy Riot, make an Arcane Disney Plus show. Do it, Disney.
I am not against the creative teams of Disney. I'm against the conglomerate.
Yeah, but no, that's true. There are fantastic creative people involved in Disney, but at the end of the day, what ruins the shows is the conglomerate. But let's not go there. Let's not. Here's something that got improved instead of.
It was very convenient that the Lost Media episode of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur came out when we were not doing AWKWARDCast, because that would be a whole conversation topic. The episode's good. That's what I can say. And there's no fucking real reason to not. Yeah. That episode.
So, just to confirm, I also learned today during that Disney debate, and I'm pretty sure, since you are more informed than I am, you can either confirm or dismiss if this is a rumor or a true fact. Regarding Inside Out, that Inside Out was originally conceptualized as a lot gayer, while now there is at best subtext. But that the conglomerate stepped in and was like...
Do you mean Inside Out 2?
Yes, sorry. Inside Out 2 was a lot gayer.
What's gay about Inside Out 1?
I know. No, but Inside Out 2 being a lot gayer, and that then some higher-ups were like, oh no, we don't do this anymore, or maybe, oh no, that is too hard to cut for Shiner, and that a lot of that needed to was cut out, that the potential love interest got aged up to a point where it was not possible or not feasible anymore and stuff like that. Okay, I see you having to look it up so you don't know from the get-go.
Well, no. I'm double-checking stuff.
Okay.
Because I've heard this thing go around.
Okay, that's a rumor.
The big thing is that a lot it is not a crazy thing to say that there's a lot of LGBT people in the animation industry. And especially for Inside Out 2, a lot of the research and writing was from the experiences of the female, people who work at Pixar, helping write how Riley's growing up and her feelings and developing, especially the feeling of shame and anxiety. So if you have LGBT people writing about their puberty experience, I think the subtext is just going to naturally exist in it. More so than not, a lot of the deleted scenes of Inside Out were actually more talking about like shame and guilt, which again can probably, depending on how they write it in the subtext, can also go into crushes and stuff. But it wasn't like they weren't going to have Riley coming out.
No.
From what I've seen of like what has been released of Inside Out and the deleted scenes, which they released a lot of deleted stuff, there was never like an overt thing. However, I can totally believe that because of the people who worked on it, a girl crush coming out was probably, just kind of organically happened.
And then it got inorganically cut. I mean, the final product
was
still good.
There's actually more subtext. There's more in Turning Red. Because they were going to have the Piria, the girl who's wearing all yellow, one of May's friends, actually have more flirting scenes with the goth girl. But the only thing they were able to get through was all of them shoving her to the goth girl and everyone being like, which I guess is quite a bit considering Disney, but like there was actually more scenes of them actually like being a couple. So there's all that, but yeah, it's all just rumor and speculation.
Yeah, that's fair.
But the more overt thing of them being don't say gay is what they did with Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Yeah.
So, But yeah, I'm not saying folks to go to the Internet Archive and watch the deleted episode of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, but it is on Internet Archive, so you could go do that, and you could laugh very hard at the Karen that they have in the fucking episode is voiced by Princess Carolyn, and it's so hard to not hear Princess Carolyn.
Oh no. She has a very recognizable voice.
She has a very recognizable voice, and man, it is crazy that that like Princess Carolyn is like her one character that is like outside of her usual realm, which is usually very manic or Karen-like people, as I've heard, because she's also Mina in Star Versus, another insufferable person. And I know she's in Kimmy Schmidt as an insufferable person. Princess Carolyn's like the one time she's not cast as an insufferable character. Yeah, so was this Disney debate coming up because of Moana 2? Like, what was the reason for your Disney debate?
I believe it just came up because we were just talking about. Oh, it actually started with MCU. Friends were like, oh yeah, so what we just watched and we can really recommend is Agatha All Along. And
I mean, I have heard it's good.
Yeah, but it's still MCU. I heard good. I also heard that they kind of dropped a few balls at the end there. So that it was good,
just like WandaVision itself,
good, and then shitting the bed a little bit, but apparently not to fatal degrees. But it's still...
Agatha heard you.
Exactly. It's still an MCU show, and I'm still burned out, and I still am done with the bullshit. Of course it will be looking good. There's Disney money behind it. Of course it will be nice to look at. They will hire competent people, and those competent people will do the best they can. Again, once again, nothing against the creative teams.
I mean, Agatha's also, like, just one of the better characters they've made in recent times.
Yeah, but that alone doesn't get me back in there. Yeah. I mean, I believe, what came first? The Marvels or Guardians 3?
Guardians 3.
Okay, so Guardians 3 is and remains the last MCU property I have watched and intend to watch. No, Deadpool still does not count. I refuse to accept that Deadpool is part of the MCU.
So Deadpool doesn't count, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur doesn't count.
Absolutely not. No, I deny that this show, even though we have
X-Men
a cameo
97 doesn't count. I don't think X-Men 97 counts. I'm guessing the new Spider-Man show doesn't count. But, like, so nothing animated counts.
Hopefully.
And Deadpool. Animation and Deadpool.
Deadpool is just live action animation.
That is true. But, yeah. So, I went to go see a movie.
Did you now? What might that have been in those Green Goblin colors?
2. Yes, a movie that I have waited for years. A movie that I was like, please be good. Because if you've been in development hell for over like a decade and a half and you aren't good, I think I might just cry. And it was good. It was better than good. It was great. Wicked. If you don't know what Wicked is, yes you do. Everyone has heard Defying Gravity. I implore you to tell me that you have not heard Defying Gravity or people making fun of Defying Gravity with the riff at the end of the and all that. Or Popular. Or there's like a shit ton of things that literally parody Wicked. So if you haven't heard of Wicked, you heard of something that parodied it. Book of Mormon parodied it.
Okay.
So
then I
like,
guess I did have heard Book of Mormon, so I guess I have heard a parody of Wicked.
My favorite thing is that in the Shrek musical, in the script, where they do like Farquaad's reprise, it literally just says, "Nothing's gonna bring me down. Do wicked riff of the So it just has a verbiage. But yes, I love Wicked. It's one of my favorite musicals because I'm basic, and I was nervous that they were splitting this movie into 2 parts because part 1 is the length of the entire play. I was like, are they going to take stuff from the book? Are they going to be doing stuff from Act 2? No. I am for once glad that they split it into 2 because they included everything from Act 1 in this, and it felt perfect. I felt like if it was shorter, they would have had to cut stuff out from Act 1 of the play. And they didn't cut out any songs. Everything was and the dialogue of the movie also felt very Broadway. Like, this thing is not a shame that it is based off a Broadway musical, which a lot of musicals sometimes feel like they are ashamed of where they come from. We've been in a weird rut of movies disguising themselves in trailers and stuff as not musicals, but they actually are, because Wonka,
Joker 2.
I did not know was...
Oh yeah, I heard that about Wonka. Yeah,
yeah. A lot of all the trailers for Wonka did not show that it was a musical. The Mean Girls remake movie, which is a Mean Girls the musical movie, did not have trailers that showed it was a musical, even though it's based off the Mean Girls Broadway show, which just feels so stupid. And Joker 2, not the best example, but still. But no, this is just such a good movie, and I'm not going to spoil things, but it is based off a musical that's existed since 2004, so I don't know if it would really be spoilers. But yes, if you don't know what the story of Wicked is, it is a retelling. It is the original Maleficent of a retelling, rewriting, revisionist history of the Wicked Witch of the West and Glinda the Good Witch, where it's actually that they were friends who went to the same like magical academy together, and why is the Wicked Witch green and all this stuff, and it goes into how, like, you know, the wizard is actually a bad guy and all this kind of stuff. And it's so good. Everyone, like, acts their heart out in this movie. I'm not going to be... I would be surprised if these 2 actresses did not get nominated for Oscars. And I mean that with my full chest. This is going to be an award-winning movie. And if not, there is corruption in the system. Because they did everything perfectly. And honestly, I think I like Cynthia's Elphaba more than Idina Menzel's, who is the original Elphaba. I think she sounds better. The songs actually sound better than the Broadway soundtrack, which is a very high compliment. Everything, it's shot beautifully. They actually use real sets. Obviously, they're plussed up a little bit with CGI.
Yeah, but
they use actual sets. It is not like a Marvel movie where it's just in front of a green cyc for, you know, the entire time. There's actual, like, tactile things. My favorite thing is that there's these choreographed group numbers with a lot of dancers, and the camera actually stays on them long enough for you to actually appreciate the dancing. This should not be a compliment. This should be a fucking requirement for musicals, but I've watched enough musical movies to know that that is not. But I mean, like, everything's just perfectly done. It may be my favorite movie of the year. It is, again, competing with Deadpool and Wild Robot. But I think even if you don't like musicals, you'll like this movie. Like, this is the musical that may get people to like musicals.
My.
It is a very high praise, but it's so good. Also, Jeff Goldblum's the wizard. That should sell anyone. And he's perfect as the wizard. Like, there's just something about him that feels so
punchable.
He was made for this role. Punchable, but also charismatic. You don't know if you want to punch him or kiss him.
I mean, that's, like, that is Jeff Goldblum.
That is Jeff Goldblum. He's very Goldblum in this, because there's so many lines that trail off that you know that it wasn't in the script for him to trail off on certain things, where he's just like, yeah, just put that there. Yeah, that's nice. Like, he's just talking to himself. But it fits, and it's perfect. And I love it so much. And the movie's actually colorful. Again, should just be a requirement if you're a fucking movie. But color correction has gone out the fucking window in the most recent era of films. I don't know why. But every film looks super desaturated nowadays.
Realism.
I don't know if it's realism or
people
no one knows
don't come to cinema for their escapism to escape reality after all. Wait, what?
Yeah, especially at a musical where the two colors are pink and green. I just like it's such a good movie. And I want everyone to please just go see it. There's nothing else good in cinema right now. Don't go see Moana 2.
Oh yeah, it was a feast to just see the YouTube subscription feed, all the reviewers that I still am subscribed to. Just the thumbnails told you everything. Cell-spec, sarcastic chorus, Saber.
I had to edit Saber's Moana 2 video.
Oh,
so,
it's yeah.
I'm mad at Moana 2. They took up all, like, the 4D, like, really nice theater areas at the movie theater I go to. Which is, it's just like, fuck you, I want Wicked to have those, Disney. I know you bought these because of this. I will say the one criticism I have to Wicked isn't even to the movie. It's for the movie theater experience. To whomever that fucking mother was who had a toddler at the movies, who kept screaming, and they didn't take the toddler out of the movie theater. But you can hear them just go, shh, it doesn't work. Take the toddler out. I know movie tickets cost a lot of money, but you know what probably would have cost the same amount? Getting a babysitter. Like, just ask your, like, niece or nephew to watch them. Or put the kid in Moana 2. You already paid for the ticket. No one's going to check if you stuck your kid in Moana 2. Like, the money goes to Wicked. It's just like Eddie Burback going to see Morbius 10 times. But he actually bought tickets to Everywhere, Everything All at Once, and just kind of walked into Morbius after buying the tickets to Everything Everywhere All at Once. So, there's also Sonic 3. Those movies aren't out yet. But yeah, so go see Wicked. It's a great movie. If that's the last movie you see this year, if you're not going to go see Sonic 3, it'd be a good way to end the year. Or you know, if you don't plan to go see the top 3 movies of Christmas, Sonic 3, Mufasa, and the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson Santa Claus movie. Your 3 Christmas choices. Have fun.
I mean, yeah. That makes it a little bit easier, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, do you want to talk about the art of the week?
The art of the week? Oh, I was considering, like, maybe I actually had a handful of choices, and I was like, you know what? This is featuring your Sona, drawn by me. This is probably from all the stuff that popped up as potential art of the weeks. The most both of us.
I thought you had this as the art of the week because you wanted to bitch about my character's design because you were complaining.
Oh, I can bitch about your character's design if you want me to. So, I mean, let's go to the history of it. Subscribe to subscribe. Follow Noodle Doodles. I guess I now have to put it in the I actually put it in the description because, like, art of the week buy is always in the description. In case you people haven't figured out yet, there's always credit. So go and follow all the amazing artists who feed our narcissism. Unless it's us feeding our own narcissism, which is kind of the show in a nutshell.
Especially for a Just Us episode, it is pure.
Oh Jesus, it is, isn't it? I put the Oshinoko toddlers up there like because you were so cheering on for Wicked, but
Yes.
maybe they are cheering us on.
Maybe they are.
Maybe they are. But yeah, so about this bad boy. This one, I mean, this is a montage. I only had to draw this thing. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. This is literally
Other
not.
artists drew
This
those.
is literally not my art. So yeah, this is just like And then I started down here.
What two great characters for you to get your teeth, bite your teeth on.
I know.
One with multiple arms and one with a complex outfit.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I just realized that this was not my smartest move because it's no individual pictures. But yeah, I can actually bring up the individual pictures theoretically. So for close up. So yeah, started out bad enough with this one. But I figured it out at some point. It was like, okay, I got it smoothed, and I figured out how those legs work, and I actually came up with, like, idea. I mean, the additional set of arms always still looks as just add-ons. I wasn't able to pull Arthur's... Oh, it's cut off at the top, but it's still, like... I wasn't able to pull off Arthur's thing where he actually makes all four arms look dynamically. It's not as drastic as here, where the second pair of arms is really just like random tentacles. I make them arms, but it's something that it's tricky. It's almost like we usually only have to work with two arms.
Yeah, it's tricky. But
I got in the groove.
You got in the groove.
And you would think that this is the more complicated character, right? Between those two.
Enter the mink.
You would assume that between those two, the four-armed, weird leg twisty thingy tentacle hair character is the worst, if my own Sona already is another musclet. I mean, what killed me, maybe you can tell by how rarely it is represented after the initial figuring out of the pose. The jacket. The fucking jacket killed me. It's like...
It was great to get messages of, I hate drawing your character. And I'm like, what? Why? And they're just like, how does this jacket work? And I'm like, you can pull it up, right?
What was the pose that I tried it to? Which was the second one I drew? I believe it was it this one?
It was that one. It was that one. It was that one where you were like, I'm getting rid of the jacket.
Yeah, I was like, where... No, because it's like hanging. It's like hanging lazily down there, which is like, yeah, in real life. But figuring then out, first of all, figuring out how the jacket actually is supposed to look when it's closed was challenging, because this is the only reference of the jacket in existence, right? Is there another drawing of her with the jacket? So this flapped open thing is the only thing I had to go by. So I figured out it goes not too long over the arms, but over the arms. It has this fluffy thing down here, and it has a zipper in the middle. This is all I had to work with. So, and yeah, the moment you move your arms...
She just went to gym mode for every other picture,
basically,
which is great.
Which is why I then made an effort to integrate it at least one more time, but I was like, fuck it, she pulls it up. I'm done with this loosely hanging fashion statement. Fuck that shit. It's the annoying part is it's needed because it's green. It's a counter color.
It's the pop of color.
Exactly, it's the accents. Other than that, there's only the pupils.
Outside of that, she looks like she's a grunt for like a fighting gym, like, which is, I mean, I guess it works. Also, we made a great discovery because of looking up reference pictures for her. So I have this image by Birchley that I commissioned.
Yes.
And and Max messaged me being like, "Hey, does Tempra dye her tail?" And I was like, What nonsense are you on about today? And he's like, well, look at this picture. In that picture, you see her tail and it's white. And I'm like, oh no.
Is it anywhere in our history?
I don't. I mean,
I'm scrolling so hard right now.
I sent you reference images, I guess, but like, yeah, it was one of those things because I don't commission art of my Sona a lot. and I don't have free time ever. So it is that one thing where I was like, oh, the one time I forgot to tell them that the tail was also red. I maybe in my brain I was like, it's implied, right, that the hair on the head would be the same as the hair on the tail, but I forget that furries don't work with brain. I do love the artwork. Keep in mind, it's one of I've had this as my phone.
Oh yeah, that is actually
time, so.
yeah. For some reason, I thought that it was the other picture, the gangster picture. But the gangster picture that Birchley did, that is the one where it was.
That was the one where it was correct. You pointed it out. But yeah, and that one, no, she has a white tail. Maybe she had a bleaching phase. I don't know. But also, Jesus, if I had to pick between the hair on the head and the hair on the butt, I would pick the hair on the head when it came to that fursona, because that's such a long, fluffy tail. That would take forever to bleach.
I know, right? That's why I was wondering if she is actually a natural old white mink.
But I dye my hair so that way the mink farmers don't come to get me. The fur farmers can't get me if I do that.
There's now a very deep and tragic story behind it.
Also, let me just say, I really appreciate how you draw her. You draw her so muscly. That makes me happy. She always has muscle in every drawing. She's all toned up. It's like, man, that's my Columbo. That's my power fantasy. But yes, go follow Noodle Doodles.
But yeah, Noodle Doodle. I mean,
go follow it.
Let's see if I get off my ass and get one more out this year. Then again, I now have a laptop where I have proven to be able to work with my tablet on the road. So
yeah,
maybe even two.
All right, onwards to the Q's and the A's, and hopefully there's not a lot, because I have to. We have to make this show a little bit shorter because I have a thing.
Does this mean speed round?
You know, speed round doesn't mean anything anymore.
Speed round.
Okay, luckily there's only 4 things on Discord. Do we have any on?
Yes, we do.
Blue Sky?
Speed round. But yeah, I actually checked Twitter, and no, nobody went even bothered over there. So good on everybody. Good. So I only have to check one.
What do we have on Blue Sky?
So from Iris, we have: what is your favorite thing to do at a Christmas market? Getting out of there.
Food.
I mean, in fact, that this piece of canon slipped you by. I am not a fan of Christmas markets. It's so many things I don't like.
The Asian one we went to was fun.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's mostly just cramped crowds. Like crowds, not crowds.
I mean, a Christmas
it's
market
also cramped
is just a vendor hall at a con without the con.
Yeah, but it's also outside and cold by definition, because it's most of the time outside, the Chinese one being, or the Asian one being an exception. But yeah, it's like it's like the products they sell are not down my alley. It's cramped. It's usually outside, therefore cold, and the final thing is that what most people go there for is get drunk on mullet wine, because it's cold and outside, and everything is overpriced. So but yeah, and yet you enjoy going there for the food.
Well, yes, a lot of times it has good food.
That's fair.
Like I like. So yeah, and also hold on, let me just grab this picture of you while you were talking about this. There we go.
Yeah.
Good.
I remember you took this when we went to one of the Christmas markets last time.
Yes, totally.
It's a little bit of an unflattering angle because my nose looks even longer, but yeah, I remember that day.
Oh, not a media thing, but I showed my friends the German dub of Muppets Christmas Carol over the week. They had a great time. That was the thing they all died at. Which is great.
Like, I grew up with it, so it wasn't as bad, but in hindsight now, after having heard the original Christmas Carol version, and then being like, oh, okay, the Reds still do make weird noises at this point, but it's not as bad as this phoned-in noise they do in German.
Yeah.
We thought the ladybug moan was bad, but no, the red moans are their own can of worms. But
Let's see. Here is one from
Pedro.
This is an answer
Oh,
from
no.
Perfectly Unknown. This would be he says, for me it would have to be Wall-E, and there's have is italicized for emphasis, I assume.
Something about Pixar movies.
Or something about movies in general. Probably something.
But would Wall-E be his favorite all-time animated movie?
I don't think so. I think maybe it's like maybe it's like if you have to watch a movie, if you are only allowed to watch one movie for the rest of your life, kind of thing.
Oh, for the
Because
rest of your
I
life.
think Wall-E would be a decent choice.
I would agree, but would it be the go-to choice? So I guess, assuming that the question is favorite Pixar movie, because for many people Wall-E is all the way up there.
Yes.
So this is not a crazy choice, and it's I get you, bro. It wouldn't be my answer. But it's definitely one where if this is your answer to favorite Pixar movie, I will be like, yeah, I can respect that.
Yeah, it's a decent one.
Would mine still be Incredibles? Usually back in the day I always had Incredibles as the answer, but there have been more since then, and I aged, and then there has been a sequel. Not that sequels should be able to diminish the value of the original, but you can't stop them from, because they become part of the overall vision.
I mean, also, it doesn't help that Incredibles 2 takes place right after the end of Incredibles 1, which I feel like can diminish the end of Incredibles 1.
It was so neatly contained. That was part of its charm.
Yeah. But hey, Saul Goodman exists in Incredibles now, I guess.
Oh, thank goodness we have our historian with us. Charlie just points out that Incredibles did win the Three Idiots, which kind of means that therefore it's the objective best Pixar movie of the time.
It beat Toy Story 2.
Also a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say if you had to watch an animated film for the rest of your life, I think that I'm gonna lock that in as my question.
Okay, fair. What would be your answer then?
Oh, mine would be if it's an animated film. I know people would think that I'm gonna pick a pretentious art film because I'm me, but I'm gonna say Road to El Dorado because I think something that makes you feel good and laugh will be good, and that one I think has good replayability value.
So let me check. Oh, Turning Red was also Pixar. That's the thing. It becomes a little bit muffled over the years because Pixar keeps producing bad movies suddenly, and Disney animated movies are looking really good, and some of them are really good. So it's hard to be like, back in the day it was easy. Then again, was it really? Because the first Disney animated movie was Tangled, which I really like, but it still had a more Disney feel to it.
The first Disney computer animated movie was Chicken Little.
As I was saying, the first animated Disney movie, for a CG animated movie, was Tangled. Yeah, as we agreed. Exactly.
No, you could also say Bolt could have been the first
Bolt?
one.
Okay, never mind. Then Bolt counts.
Yeah.
But Bolt was the first animated CG animated movie.
Totally.
And I also love Bolt. I love Bolt.
Wait, did Meet the Robinsons come out before Bolt? No, I'm pretty sure Bolt came before Meet the Robinsons.
Meet the Robinsons is Disney, not a Pixar.
Meet the Robinsons is Disney, yes.
You see, I literally cannot tell them apart anymore. It was easier back in the day, but there are now so many on both ends. I'm losing track. Old man Ayn Wye can't keep up with all the new things.
What would you pick if you had to watch one animated film for the rest of your life?
Oh, no, you changed the question to your version of it.
Well, I mean, like if you asked me what my answer would be, well, okay, what do you think the question is then?
Yeah, I already said favorite Pixar movie.
Okay, and what's your answer?
Can I stick with Incredibles at this rate?
I mean, my favorite Pixar movie is Ratatouille.
It is also a very good one. It's true. Okay, and now the sole animated movie. I guess I stick with Incredibles.
Okay.
But yeah,
So let's see what the actual.
But also to answer your question, the one animated movie I'm willing to watch for the rest of all time.
You can't go see any more animated films. It's just this one.
Ooh, that's a brutal one. We didn't. Did we have an all animated movies thingy yet on 3 Idiots?
Not yet. I mean, that would take literally forever.
Oh wait, didn't I have an animated movie question on Blue Sky there recently? I mean, Spider-Verse, not specifying which one.
Spider-Verse is Spider-Verse is a good choice.
Yeah. Wild Robot might suffer from recency bias. I dare to say it will remain a very good one, but recency bias.
Maybe you can go with the holiday spirit and say Arthur Christmas, so you can feel that Christmas feeling all the time.
I do keep rewatching it very frequently. I even got my parents into
Klaus.
it. So
Klaus is also.
Yeah, we basically watch both of them now in German because they don't want Jingy movies. So that's the thing I have to. Oh, The Bad Guys. I can't believe I only watched The Bad Guys once or twice. I watched it twice. I watched The Bad Guys twice.
You watched it twice.
Only twice, however.
We got a trailer for Bad Guys 2 when we went to go see Wicked, and it was very funny to hear the crowd's visceral reaction to the last shot of the trailer.
Like a good reaction or a bad reaction?
It's a visceral reaction. I'm not gonna. You don't watch. You don't watch trailers, so I'm not gonna say what it is of.
Okay,
visceral reaction.
Okay. So, but I believe from our insider we know that Bad Guys 2 will actually also be good. It will not be soulless sequel. Okay, good, because I love the first one.
It's made by the same. It's made by almost entirely the same team. So.
Yeah, but this again, the creative teams. I'm with you. Creative teams, 2 thumbs up. You go, guys. But interference can still happen.
I'm sure it'll be good. Yeah. But I'd rather be hopeful of it being good. But yes, the question actually is. You've got the power to force everyone in the world to watch the same movie every couple months for the rest of their lives. Ooh. Which one are you picking? That's so specific.
Oh, but that's actually... yours
So every couple months I kick down the door and be like, it's... You're going to be like, it's Wally time.
Basically. But yeah, yours was technically closer. Your guess was technically closer. It's not the singular one.
By Price of Right rules, I'm closer.
But instead of making it a personal pick, now it's actually a pick about if you make all of humanity watch a movie. It is just a movie or an animated movie. Same movie. So it could be any movie.
It's the same movie. So I could be a dick and force everyone in the world to watch the same shitty movie every couple of months.
I can't believe that I was actually the one was leaning towards an idealistic approach, but
absolutely not.
Yeah, because you could also then find the ultimate movie that teaches and reminds people of some good values, so for the betterment of all of humanity. Fuck, Wall-E's a good choice, isn't it?
Yeah, Wall-E is the good choice. I would force the world to watch 8 Crazy Nights every couple months. The only Hanukkah movie in existence. Okay, so the other answer that Charlie has
more
is
of those.
Mine would be pink beef corner stand burgers.
I don't even know what the pink is. Pink is not capitalized, so it's an actual descriptor.
Okay, so it's pink. The thing is,
beef
I don't think they meant to capitalize the word beef, because I think it is the beef is pink, and they get it at a corner stand.
Oh, probably something. What is your worst nightmare? What kind of? Oh, yeah, okay. Now the pink beef corner stand burger. Okay. Corner stand burgers. Okay, yeah, so it's basically what you described, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that's so he's describing food poisoning. Yes, is what he's describing.
Or maybe it's also a general. What is what what is the thing? No fear. What about pink beef corner stand burgers? One fear. if it's this kind of a scenario.
Or it's the equivalent of the what do you think is the biggest animal you can fight and win? What is the food you can eat without what's the worst food you can eat without dying?
Because at the end of the day, a pig beef burger is basically just a raw grilled one. But then the corner stand aspect comes in, and it's like,
yeah, then you get the
hygiene,
health department.
Yeah.
So like, I think I'm onto something with the what's like the worst food you've eaten, like
have eaten.
Like, or like the food you've eaten that is like from the most sus place, something like that.
That could be. Unless it's
your most sussy food choice, I guess, as the kids say.
Unless we do the thing that we did with his last answer and focus too much on a detail. And it's actually a far broader question. That's why I tried to bring in like the one fear idea, that it's maybe the food is just his specific iteration of whatever the question is about. And now we are completely like, it's a food question. But then again, how we have to go with what we can. So you go for the specific interpretation.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with specifically what is the most sus food you've ever eaten. Like one where you're like, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Does my own curry that I made and forgot to put into the fridge the previous day count?
Did you eat it?
Of course. What do you think where all my food poisoning stories come from?
Yeah, I mean, I do remember the one time you sent me a picture of the fruit you were eating, being like, do you think this is still safe to eat? And it's like, I shouldn't have this power. And I know even if I said no, you're still going to eat it. So why are you asking? Are you just wanting me to know that you're eating moldy food? I mean, the answer to my question of like the most sus thing that I've ever eaten. I mean, I come from New York. There's street vendors everywhere, so probably something from there. But besides that, I mean, there was that one time I ate at Schiller Burger, and then I was like, why? Speaking of pink, and then we had to book me another flight because I got food poisoning the day I flew out, and I was throwing up all day and looked like the fucking hunter from Left 4 Dead 2 on your couch. So there's that. But what do you think the question is?
My interpretation is like basically the one fear. What is you are a brave person. There's only one thing that really makes you break into cold sweat.
Food poisoning is what scares Charlie, according
or
to your
specifically
this
one
sus
encounter
okay.
he had with that one food burger.
Well, what's your answer to this question?
What is the one fear that the one thing that makes me break into cold sweat? What is the one thing that makes me break into cold sweat?
You don't seem like you're not a very fearful person.
It's
so this
true.
Feels like,
it's true.
Like without it going to existentialism, I suppose. But you seem pretty content in the existentialness of the world. So
yeah.
Snakes. I don't know.
Very specific. No, let's go with internet cutting out. I mean, let's be honest. Here's
like Y2K actually happening.
Hear me out. Hear me out on this one. I every now and then, when I'm like, I don't feel like playing video games. What am I supposed to do with my free time? And I'm like, what the fuck did I used to do with my free time? I had so much more of it, and pre-video game. What did I spend my time with? What did I do?
Make little movies with your stuffed dog. I don't know.
I guess maybe. I mean, I try to do little movies with my actual dog. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe something like that. I forgot. I do not know I can't entertain myself anymore.
The other people's fears: clowns, snakes, the dark.
Exactly, mine.
Max, Y2K, apparently.
Yeah. Let's go with that answer. What's yours?
It's like, oh god, me? What's my one fear?
Your cold sweat singular fear.
Let me think of the fun answer. I mean, I genuinely
No, not fun
hate
answer.
clowns.
It's okay.
I mean, I remember watching It for the first time, and this fucking bastard down below these two babies. We were watching it, and I was like, I'm scared, and then all I could feel is a hand on my fucking shoulder going, ha! And it's like, why?
Because I'm me.
It was pitch black. It was just so mean. I've never been more like upset. But okay, so let's see what the actual question was. What's your guilty pleasure food? Something you know will make you feel like crap in a couple hours, and it doesn't even taste that good, but you can't stop craving.
Hey, my answer was kind of the right one, even though I got the question wrong.
But like, okay, well, you know what? I got to food. I got the approximation. What's my guilty pleasure food, though?
Again, my curry from yesterday that I forgot to refrigerate. Nah, I guess
your curry does taste good though. So.
I know. In all honesty, yeah, I figured it out. Especially since I started seasoning especially since I stopped seasoning with just soy sauce.
I know, crazy, right? Let's see. What is mine?
No, but my curry is actually good for you, unless I forgot to put it into the freezer or into the fridge.
Yes, obviously.
Cola.
See,
I guess?
my mind goes to fast food. Like there will be just some days that I feel like I want to be a piece of shit, and I will order. I think like the top two is Burger King or Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box being a very American thing. And they never end well. I never feel good, especially with Jack in the Box. That is like, I don't know what is in the oil, but I become like the Family Guy death pose on the ground after a couple hours. But sometimes you just crave that brief moment of, like being fucking David Hasselhoff on the ground with the burger. That's me when I eat Jack in the Box.
I just figured out my answer. Oh no, did I forget it again? Fuck. That's what I get for listening to you. Jesus. Forgetting my own answer. I know, right? That's how conversation works.
That may be genuinely one of the meanest things you've ever said to me.
But it was factual. I had an idea what to say, but then I listened to you, and then I realized I forgot my answer. But now I remembered it. It's funny enough, it's a quantity answer instead of quality.
Okay.
But it still is a very me-flavored thing, and it still very much qualifies as a guilty pleasure food, something you know it will make you feel like crap in a couple of hours. Even sooner usually. Doesn't even taste that good. No, it still tastes good. That's the problem. A bag of chips, as in like not just a chip or two, but
the bag,
an entire bag of chips, and then I'm like, why did nobody stop me? I just ate an entire bag of chips in an hour.
We expect a 40-something to have will.
I know it's not good for me. It's a pleasure food, and through the quantity, it becomes a problem.
It's a pleasure food until it becomes a punishment food.
But yeah, we answered this bad boy.
Yes, we answered it.
Okay,
and we have one more. Is there any on Blue Sky still?
Yes, we do. But I believe one of them at least is a Would You Rather.
Let's do the Would You Rather.
Okay. Would you rather eat an uncooked but thawed TV dinner?
More food.
Oh, yes. Or a can of cold beef chili? I guess one of them gives you food poisoning and the other doesn't.
Okay. Well, okay. That depends.
Oh, then again, yeah. It should. Neither should.
Because in theory, TV dinners and canned chili is already cooked.
Yeah.
They're just cold. I mean... The qualifier is what is the TV dinner, because I feel like some TV dinner items probably are more... The flavor profile wouldn't be too bad cold.
The TV dinner you think of when you hear TV dinner without a defined food. So it's kind of those individual color. Like... It has a different assortment of colors, all a little bit desaturated. Then you have something brownish that could be meat, something greenish that could be veggies, and something beigeish that is a carbs.
The roulette of, is this brown thing gravy or a brownie?
Exactly. So that's what I think is the vision here.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go with the TV dinner because
okay,
while it'll be cold and wet because it's a thawed out TV dinner, I have a texture thing with meat and food, and I feel temperature does play a role in that. I don't know if I could deal with cold ground beef from a can. I don't feel good about my dogs eating that. Why would I feel good about eating it? Like, I'm not that much of a furry that I want to simulate the feeling of eating dog food. I've already eaten dog food in my life. I don't need to continue eating it.
You see, we finally have a good Would You Rather where we have different answers again.
Okay, so you're eating dog food, okay?
Basically, yeah. You see, you have like thinking about it, like thinking it the other way. Instead of having it not yet heated, having it gone cold again. Because this is the one that's more realistic, because I have not gone for either of those when they were not yet heated. But if I haven't eaten fast enough, I probably got a taste of both of them. And I can completely see having the bowl of chili, it goes cold, then I eat it and it's like, great, it's gone cold. It still tastes fine. So therefore, it should also, at the beginning of the process, especially since it's room temperature probably, so it's not cold, I think I would be fine with that. Again, assuming that it's pre-cooked. Otherwise, we are back to the beef burger.
Assuming that it's pre-cooked. But I doubt they would put raw beef in a can. Do we have anything else on Blue Sky? Because, we have to wrap it up pretty soon.
Yeah. Favorite Christmas movies when you were a child? Mine was Olive the Other Reindeer from Fidel.
Oh, that's a good choice.
That's a sad thing. I cannot
probably Muppets Christmas Carol.
Because that's the sad thing. My favorite ones would be Arthur Christmas or Klaus, but they are both recent history, so not from my childhood.
Because when you were a child, there was no Santa movies. There was locking yourself in the kitchen so the Christ child could come.
Exactly. Christmas movies. I watched as a child. There are some.
Home Alone 2.
Oh, there was.
I guess both Home Alones are actually Christmas movies, aren't they?
By the same logic that Die Hard is.
No. Well, no. It actually, the whole plot is that they get left because the family goes on a vacation for Christmas, and they leave Kevin there, so he has Christmas by himself, and it's actually sad. And National Lampoon. Oh yeah, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation was good.
There was, I could swear.
And Scrooged with Bill Murray. Okay, Jingle All the Way is a fantastic movie for all the wrong reasons, Charlie. Yeah, and I guess there's the Rankin Bass specials. There's a lot of Christmas things. But I guess I'm gonna have to say Muppets Christmas Carol. Because it is one of the few things I return to every year. And if Fidel didn't pick it, I would have said Olive. But Olive's not a movie. Olive's like a special. The thing's not longer than 35 minutes. Disney's Christmas Carol is also good. I wasn't a child when it came out. I don't know what your parameters for childhood is. Because by that logic, we could say that people in their 20s are still in their childhood, depending on how old you are.
I could swear that there was an animated movie told about from the perspective of a tree who then basically becomes a Christmas tree, and this is kind of the highlight and everything. And we had it on VHS, so I already tried to find it, but I can't remember the name. Maybe it doesn't even exist, and maybe it's a furry Treasure Island situation where it's actually absolute bullshit, and I just have nostalgic memories of it.
Wait, can the tree talk? Are you like?
Maybe. What have you found?
Is it? I found a movie called Christopher the Christmas Tree from 1993, but would that count as your childhood?
I guess so.
Let me grab an image and see.
No, oh god, no. Definitely not that one.
I was about to say this.
This is not the movie I watched.
That's terrifying.
First of all, I'm pretty sure that the one that I have in mind is yet even older. Because
is this one of those situations where you talked about like that one grasshopper movie that
goes to town, yeah,
that you thought was from the 80s and it actually was like fucking 1930s
or 30s even.
God, none of these movies look like what is this one? This one looks terrifying. It's called like A Christmas Dream, and it looks What is this?
I found it! I have no fucking idea what the history is. Chucklewood Critters is the name.
Ha! Okay.
Go away. I see it and it's all coming back. Wait, maybe I can find out. Is there... I knew it had. It's completely not what I described earlier, so I probably meshed two movies together in my mind.
Probably.
But this one is also one we definitely had on Standorte Sprachen? English. But it exists in English, and why is it? So it is actually from. It's even older than me. Wow.
How old is it? Where is it?
In 1983.
Ah.
Besetzung und Crew. Okay, the names are like Bill Hutton, Tony.
There's a non-zero chance that this thing was on TV when you were conceived, because it would have probably been December of 1983.
The timing is on spot there. Yes, I always keep pointing out that I am an early December cuddle child, as in.
Hello, everyone. If you're a September baby, that means that you were your dad's present to your mom.
Yeah, what is the original name? Oh wait, we see the original. We know the original name. It's Chucklewood Critters, or in German, der Weihnachtsbaumzug. Yeah, but Chucklewood Critters, the Christmas Tree Train.
It was an animated series.
A series
too, like the Christmas
Critters.
the Christmas special seems to be like the thing that originated it, and then it made a TV show later on.
Yeah, because that one and another one which was called Küken für Kairo, that was also weird. It ended in a Christmas thing. It was not necessarily Christmas themed, but it kind of became relevant that it was at Christmas because what did you send me there?
It was something called A Christmas Dream, and I wanted to share that because that's not a dream, that's a nightmare.
And there's no Christmas in it whatsoever.
Yeah, I just wanted to share that because if I had to see it, here's my answer to one fear. This picture, apparently.
Yeah, we finally found out, yeah. Cold sweat, I already feel it.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But yeah, that was all of Blue Sky.
That was all of Blue Sky. And, sorry, Enigma, your question about what encapsulates 2024 will go on too long of a tangent than I have time for today.
What's the other one?
So, the other one's his answer that he does not give a question to.
Oh,
so that's always fun. So, his answer is, my answer would be the past, simply because it's happened already. And with how certain things played out, there could be a bevy of things that would be played out differently if the choices were made, or if the choices made were altered and different. Reasons why time travel is not a good idea.
Oh yeah, that makes actually sense as an answer.
Like, that is the most sensible. Step up your game. At least the other ones, I was like annoyed that the fact that you didn't give us a proper question. But this one, yeah, it's probably just why time travel's no good. because the past needs to happen for the present to exist. Like, it also, like, here's my thing about time travel is the thing of, if we invented time travel in the future, if we go by the logic of time travel, that means that what is happening now is the product of whatever the time travel's interference has already been. If you want to make your brain hurt a bit.
Assuming we are not the first run.
Yeah, assuming that the alternate timelines, the river diverges shit isn't real. You know, like, if there's only one continuous timeline, then... yeah. It was kind of a last-minute rush answer thing. You know what? I respect your honesty.
Yeah.
I respect your honesty that you are not playing up that you were giving your A game today, because Lord knows we aren't.
Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow.
Wow, 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 wow. Aw.
Ayn Wye and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The memes are seen on this live stream as they talk about random crap. It's time for awkward guests.
It's the awkward.
Random guests and funny gags on the awkward guests.
It's the awkward.
Hard work and analysis,
Whoa, whoa,
which
whoa.
you do not want to